the live stream with like with a bunch of notes I didn't save. All right, I'm going live.
Okay.
All right. All right, we are live. Live stream with like, oh, we are live. Okay, I'm gonna mute that. Okay, we are live. Everybody, can you hear us? How many guys? I'm gonna actually go here, share live streaming, and then we'll show our faces big. Okay, so you can see my screen, and we have, yes, we have 6 likes, 0 congruent viewers. Wait till some people show up. All right. Oh, Ride Liger says hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Can you all hear me? And also, I have to, I just gotta set up this prison chat thingy. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, this is above. All right. Okay, so we have the chat there. All right, can you all hear me? Once we have it hear us, and then we'll get going. Can you guys hear me or no? Okay, Red Liger says yes. How's the audio? Okay, how's audio? And yeah, so, and I think it's all good. Everything should be fine. I'm just gonna go test out. I'm gonna assume it's fine. All right, guys, we are going live, and Alan Forrest is on here for the second time. And this is I'm gonna just stop presenting, stop sharing, so we see our faces. All right, Alan. Yes. Oh, whoops. Make this bigger. All right, guys. So for those who aren't aware, so Alan Forrest is the artist and freedom activist that was on the show last time. And now we're gonna go discuss some Wilhelm Reich and Qi Gong and body energy and a whole bunch of topics. And yeah, so Alan, you wanna chime in and
Yeah, sure. What are we starting with? What did you want to start with?
Oh, well, I'll show the notes, but I just want to say hi to the audience and see if the audio is working.
Okay.
I'll type it in the chat. Is
can everyone hear me? Okay.
Okay, is this audio's fine? Okay, Apollo says hello, MES. Hello. All right, we have 5 congruent viewers right now. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, and yeah, just once there's a okay. I'm actually, what I'll do is I'll test it on my phone, see if it's working on my phone, and then we can go. Okay, yeah, both audio is good. All right, we are good to go. All right, we are good to go, and we will. Yeah, so we're gonna just get straight to it. Then we're gonna go and share this tab. All right, so it's live streaming here. Audio is good, and I have this like Prism chat thing on the side as well. Let's see how that works. Okay, so we'll go publish. Oh yeah, so it's the first thing we'll go over is, yeah, okay, so we have MES links. So also, guys, I'll share this tab. So here's the link to the notes as always. And what I'll do is I'll put this in the chat, and so then they can follow along. All right, share this tab. I'm gonna type this in, notes as always. And then another thing is, yes, the first setup is we go here. So MES links. Okay, share this up. Each time I have to press the share tab. If I haven't, yeah, if it seems like I'm talking but I'm not showing the screen, just tell me no. Click the button to share the tab. All right. So MES links. This one here, I made this website using ChatGPT. MES links, and it has a whole bunch of links to everything, and some ads, as well as the live streams and so on. And yeah, become a super fan if you want, as a link to that as well. You get custom emojis. All right, let's continue now. The next setup here. Okay, share this tab. So Nikola Tesla right here. And yeah, so Alan, you wanted to speak about Nikola Tesla.
Well, no, that's your baby.
Oh, well,
I'm not handling Tesla.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, yeah, I actually haven't looked too much into Tesla stuff because there's a whole bunch of like well, mainly because it's discussed a whole lot. Like a whole bunch of people talk about it, but in more of a like a storytelling.
I mean, I can do a quick overview. Nikola Tesla, he came from somewhere in Eastern Europe. I don't have my notes in front of me for that, but
well, I have it here. You can see the screen.
He basically is the guy that came up with alternating current. Mm-hmm. And you know, one of the biggest abortions to me is the fact that Elon Musk calls his car a Tesla, And it runs on DC energy. It's battery energy. He really should call it an Edison, because Edison was the guy that did the DC battery, whereas Tesla first came up with the alternating current. And then he moved on to free energy. So he was tapping energy from the atmosphere, from the ground, and he ran devices off of it. And he worked with some of these big industrialists like Westinghouse and JP Morgan and these guys. But once they found out what he was really up to was to provide free energy to everybody, they said, well, if we can't put a meter on it, then we don't want it. So if the people are going to get it for free, forget it. So they kept putting him off, and his inventions and things like that were just basically swept under the rug. But I still think that what we would call the deep state or the secret government, whatever you want to call it, they've got those inventions and they have already put them into play, but unfortunately not for the good, for the bad. Because on 9/11, and this is what Dr. Wood's book talks about, it's evidence of free energy technology that's been twisted and used for destruction as opposed to using for something benevolent and helping people.
Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, so 9/11 is the big one. So a lot of one reason I didn't cover Tesla that much is because like most of the people discussing Tesla, they don't have the 9/11 connection. They just don't connect it to it, so which is I found very, very strange. I'm gonna go hide. Yeah, so here's the 9/11 stuff here, and yeah, so this is a 9/11 series. So the 9/11 is a big one. So whenever someone talks about Tesla, if they don't include 9/11, then there's possibly some sort of limited hangout. And another thing I want to go over is about the Tesla stuff that you mentioned in regards to Elon Musk. So here's some interesting dates relating to Elon Musk. I'm not sure if you're aware of these. I'm just gonna hide this widget.
Probably not.
But you might. Well, I wasn't even aware until like last week, or like a few weeks ago, when I posted this. Okay, I'm gonna open this and view in open in web. Open in web. How do I? Is there a way to open this in web? All right. Put it right here. Okay, so. It's pretty interesting that Elon Musk, I'm going to share this tab. Yeah, so pretty interesting that Elon Musk, one second, CEO of Tesla, was born on June 28th, which is the same day that Nikola Tesla was born, but using the old Julian calendar. So if you go to Nikola Tesla right here, it says he was born on July 10th. Okay, so it says July 10th, but then this is the old calendar. It was actually June 28th. So interesting that they include that. And then if you go to Elon Musk, share this tab. If you go to Elon Musk right here, so he's born on June 28th. All right, so I found that was pretty interesting. And then going further, another interesting date is, it's also Nikola's birthday. Yeah, so July is 10th in the modern Gregorian calendar. And then Tesla was founded July 1st, so there's the one off there. But anyways, might be stretching on there, but I think that's pretty interesting. So he was born on, let's put these images instead. So he was born June 28th. Then you have this guy June 28th in the Gregorian, and Wikipedia shares it. So Wikipedia specifically says June 28th on his. And then you have the July 1st Tesla. Oh, there's a cartoon you made. All right. Yeah, so July 10th was the other guy. So June 28th, July 10th. But anyways, so it seems to me just raise my suspicions. All right. Let's have a look at the chat. So I have the chat hidden right now just because I'll share it like this instead. So Tesla was plugging. I just want to see the comments and we'll go through the next step.
Sure.
Yeah. So okay. What's up? Paul is in the fibbity floppity flop. Oh, what? I believe Tesla has rectifiers to run linear AC motors. Tesla was plugging light bulbs into the ground. Yeah, and someone sent me actually. I didn't. If I had time, I would have found the link. Tesla was actually doing like a lot of people saying he's transmitting energy from like the sky and etc. But I think a lot of it was literally vibration of the ground.
Well, Marconi apparently stole a lot of Tesla's ideas, and he's the guy that got the radio going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a movie there that I sent you. It's got Orson Welles in it. Do you have that? Yeah, there it is there.
Yeah.
Number 5. If anyone wants to watch a really interesting feature film, factual, about Tesla, it's very well done. And it'll give you all you really, all the basics you need to know about Tesla is in that movie. And Matthew's got the link. Yeah, there it is there. The
Yeah.
Secret of Nikola Tesla.
Yes. Great stuff. Yeah. So I sifted through it, but I didn't have time to go through the whole thing. This would be a definite watch.
But it has that where the industrialists realize they're not going to make any money off of free energy unless they can put a meter on it, and in which case it's no longer free.
Yeah. Well, that's the big one. Again, this is why 9/11 is covered up a lot, because there's a connection to free energy.
That's right, and that's what that James Fetzer apparently threatened Dr. Wood.
Yeah.
That she better not talk about that because something might happen to her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's how it is, Fetzer. Yeah. So he was supposedly helping her initially, and then she wanted to put free energy inside the title of her book, and then he would not allow that.
Yeah. There's so many of these agents out there. They're terrible. Just like Alex Jones.
Yeah. And another thing is, so this is part of my MES duality philosophy. Like, the disinfo agents look like disinfo agents. This is how Fetzer.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to look at.
So everything matches is kind of what I mean. All right. So it's not just whether they're truthful or not, but they'll also look as how truthful they're presenting. All right. So going to the next setup here. Actually, this was Wiki Wilhelm Reich. I was actually gonna go. Okay, we'll do the Wilhelm Reich after the this Tesla death ray stuff I wanted to discuss about.
Sure.
The Truth Stream Media one. So Alan sent me this Truth Stream Media. Was he building a Tesla? So this video is actually pretty good, and getting just getting some documented facts about what he was actually building, or what he actually wanted to be building, which was a like wall of energy to protect countries. So you saw that part. Yeah. So
yeah, I've read about that in a couple places too. That it was like a shield. Yeah. Like a force field around a country, and you couldn't bomb it, you couldn't do anything to it. It would be completely protected. This was his way to stop war. If everyone had these shields,
yeah,
then no one could attack them.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, and I think Israel has that sky dome thingy, but it's like, but more about targeting missiles. Force field. Let's see if the Tesla. Yeah, Tesla shield patterns. The Tesla purple shield. Okay, so we have some papers on this discussing it. All matter, luminous ether stated. But yeah. All right, so this is but yeah, it was included in this video, which is pretty good. But then, yeah, in this video about the death ray, he wasn't actually interested in death ray. He was actually interested in a non-death ray, which is or non-death energy shield to prevent war. And but then again, Truthstream Media, they sidestepped 9/11. They mentioned this briefly, and then they just completely ignored. Okay, now this has
that
ad.
could have and should have changed the.
I'm just gonna go to the ads. But anyways,
how much of our
So if for those who aren't aware, so Truthstream Media, they're actually a giant channel. So right now they have how many subscribers on? Yes, they have 25,000 on BitChute, but then they have Truthstream YouTube. They have 558,000 views and subscribers. So 585,000, and each video they do, they get 50,000 just in like a day, and so on. But then they will not talk about 9/11. See, the most popular, even though they mentioned Hurricane Erin. So Alan, as I was talking to you before this live stream, and this one I wanted to show the audience. So I made a post actually. And I'll actually play the video of theirs. Hopefully, I don't get copyright claim. So this is. So I made this in October 2017. Truth Stream. I used to follow them, and I used to watch them before they were this big. They weren't this big. They were not. They had like under 100,000 subscribers. Anyways, it's a Truth Stream. All right. So here's some comments me and Andrew Johnson wrote, and this is a video that they did about Hurricane Erin, and I 100% they took the video clips, or they at least found them from one of the documentaries I possibly uploaded from Irrefutable series. I'll show that as well. All right, so we can play some of this.
Funny thing I think of.
What?
One funny thing I think of if only a hurricane had come on 9/11. Remember, they didn't know how to use instruments, the terrorists. They took off in Boston, and they literally, after they took over the aircraft, they steered by line of sight. And it was that crystal clear September day.
Sure was.
And if it were only one of these weather days, history would have been rewritten.
In a quick follow-up to Erin's video on weather modification, I just want to add something that our friend Mark James Levesque brought to my attention. I know it's been reported on before, and I may have even heard the claim, but I never actually went and looked into it myself. On the morning of 9/11, a rather large hurricane, Hurricane Erin, was sitting off the coast of New York City. In the days leading up to 9/11, Erin was on track and had been on track for a while to possibly hit New York. It had been a Category 3 the night before, on September 10th, when a sudden cold front moved in that dropped the temperature 10 degrees and Erin began to weaken, and that morning, that hurricane made a nearly 180-degree turn and went away. That's not the most bizarre thing. I don't even think the most...
Slight math correction. It's not 180 degrees, it's 90 degrees. It's a 180 degrees would go backwards. I mean, not back, yeah. 180 degrees would go backwards. Okay, so it did at 90 degrees for the right angle for those math whizzes out there.
most bizarre thing is watching the weather reports earlier that morning that occurred before the World Trade Center attacks.
And you might want to grab a sweater as you head out the door. It's chilly outside.
Heat on in the car as you walked out. Really one of the chilliest mornings we've had in quite a while, and it is 10 to 15 degrees cooler this morning than where you were and when you woke up and walked out the door yesterday.
And you'll see that we've got clear skies throughout much of the country, some showers in the northern plains, and wet weather down in Florida, where they'll be picking up as much as 7 inches of rain in parts of central and southern Florida. Partly cloudy skies in the Pacific Northwest. The heat continues in the desert Southwest. 106 in Phoenix. That's what's going on around the country.
Here's the satellite radar picture showing the rain that moved offshore thanks to the cold front. And that cold front, that's a true cold front. This day is going to be beautiful.
No problems except down in Florida, a little rain. Northeast, we'll see little rough seas along the New England coastline from that hurricane that's going away. Miles and miles of sunshine.
It is beautiful outside. Perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today.
All is clear and all is fine with the world weather-wise.
Now notice how they first reported on Erin before it became a hurricane at all, when it was just newly forming out in the ocean off the African coast.
What you see there is a big red blob which has come off the African coast and is starting to move out into the Atlantic. Clear here in the Atlantic, one major exception to talk about, and that is this wave. This one, I can tell you, has held together as far as the thunderstorm action with it, or what we call convection, better than any other tropical wave that we have seen so far this season.
If we were to just take this part of the tropics, not including the part that I'm staying in front of, we really don't have much to talk about until I move.
Not even a hurricane, and that's how excited they are about it. And here's what coverage of a hurricane normally looks like when it's off the eastern coast of the U.S.
I'll give you the latest statistics on this very impressive storm as we zero in on Gloria. This is the latest satellite photo, and you can see the top winds now are 135 miles per hour. There are the coordinate positions. The gusts go to 170. The storm is about 500 miles to the south and east of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina.
And that storm can take almost any track at this point.
And again, here's what magical weather fairies look like.
From that hurricane that's going away.
And oh, by the way, Erin just so happened to be part of a weather experiment being run by NASA and NOAA between August 16th and September 24th, 2001, wherein they dropped multiple different instrument packages and assortments of sondes into the eye of the storm, part of which occurred the day before on September 10th, right before the hurricane weakened and switched directions almost completely.
Let's hope that this isn't one we're going to be dealing with, say, about 8 to 10 days from now, because if it is, and it makes it all the way across, there's going to be some problems.
Rough seas still from the chop from that hurricane, but other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
One funny thing I think of if only a hurricane had come on 9/11. And it was that crystal clear September day.
Sure was.
And if it were only one of these weather days, history would have been rewritten. And I think about that a lot.
Yeah, and that forgot his name. That was an anchor that always covered the news and covered the weather as well. So you saw TruthStream literally going over Hurricane Erin, and they're also using footage that's actually from a 9/11 documentary about Hurricane Erin and Judy Wood's work and so on. And I even commented here, yep, heard about the hurricane in Dr. Judy Wood's brilliant book, Where the Towers Go. And then can't find Andrew Johnson's comment there, but here's an Andrew Johnson that he wrote pretty much a thesis right here. Dr. Wood and myself have been talking about Hurricane Erin since 2008 when she first discovered its connection. Zoom in more. Connection to the events of 9/11. Yeah, of course it was a coincidence, and makers and watchers of the video have an opportunity here for further study and understanding. Read Where the Towers Go, or watch related videos, or read my free ebook, and so on. And he also writes, his free ebook 9/11 Finding the Truth, and he writes, I am kind of surprised that Mark didn't mention this book to you, or if he did, you didn't include any reference to it in your video or description. Actually, I am not surprised because Dr. Wood's research is seemingly censored even by those one would expect to talk about it more. See my presentation Taboo of Disclosure. Perhaps you can make a part 2 or just repost Irrefutable part 6 to your popular channel. Adam won't mind. This guy Adam's the one that made Irrefutable. So, and there's some other comments as well, and they're hoping that they get a copy of Where the Towers Go. But again, Truth Media, they used to work for InfoWars, and then they had a falling out. Supposedly.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah, and then they had a falling out supposedly, and then they made their own setup here. But again, they don't talk about 9/11. 9/11's a big one, and they're even using footage. We'll go to the Irrefutable. Actually, before we get to that, there's a comment in the chat. Share this stat. So Jeremy Bartlett says, hey, off topic, but is this the same guest that suggested Tom O'Neill's book Chaos to? If it is, did he see the part about JFK and Jolene West, the hypnotizing of Jack Ruby? Did you see that part?
I looked into that a bit. No, I hadn't. I would have to order that book.
Mm-hmm. I think you made, or wasn't there like an archive of it, possibly?
Yeah, there was some pictures and a little bit from the book, like a sample. It's very possible that they were using some mind control on some of those people. Oswald, for one. There are some stories about that during the actual assassination that he was kind of wandering around, sort of dazed. They had him under some spell. But again, that's just a story. I don't know. One of the best researchers to really look into the whole JFK assassination is Mae Brussel. Mm-hmm. And maybe sometime we want to really dig into that one. We'd have to prepare for that. But Mae Brussel looked into all these people, Jack Ruby, Oswald, David Ferry, all these guys, and found connections and some backstories and some pretty amazing stuff that most of the researchers never talked about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. And yeah, so I just noticed here, so Jack Ruby, he's the one that killed Lee Harvey Oswald on live TV, it says here. On live television, and he acted alone. Whenever you hear this word, acted alone.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so yeah, Mae Brussel, yeah, I haven't seen much of her work because, like, again, that's before my time. And the JFK I haven't looked at too much, but that's actually a good live stream idea for a future one. If you guys are interested in that, okay. Jeremy, let's see what Jeremy's typing in here about this stuff. Calling it funny is probably the most they allowed him to talk about it without losing his privileges. All right, theta and beta waves with sound triggers. Oh, cool. I know it's off topic. I'm curious when you have a chance to see what you thought of the audiobook that makes it easier to absorb that book. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have a look. But also, again, if you can, like, you can send me the specifics, and then I'll look at them specifics because, again, I don't have that much time. The live stream right here, guys. So this is, but yeah, this interesting part right here, and then hypnosis and so on. That's not too far fetched, especially because mind control is 100% real in my view right here. And the other one is, so the person that took that was Zapruder film, whatever. He was a Freemason.
Very possible. Yeah. Well, where Kennedy was killed was actually there were all sorts of Freemason. Symbols and monuments all around there. It's like they led him right into a Freemason area.
Well, yeah, Zapruder right here. So Abraham Zapruder, You had to notice Ukrainian-born Americans. You get the Ukraine. And so he was in 1933 he married this person Lillian, and Zapruder was a Freemason and an Inspector General, 33 degree of the Scottish Rite.
There you go.
Yeah, so when I first looked at it, I'm like, okay, so the only person with the footage of it is a Freemason. At 33 degree. All right, now we got something cooking right here. All right, and he just so happens to be there. So yeah, it was a Freemason ritual as Bill Cooper demonstrated. Okay, I just meant for your guests to listen. Yeah, so there's an audiobook for that book if you want to look at. So let's see the next setup here that we have in the...
Yeah, if they could send in a link for that audiobook, I'd certainly listen to it, absolutely.
I'll just type in the chat then. Here, I'll type in the chat. Let's have a look. Send a link to me at contact@ audiobook, or we could find it as well. Not it's the audiobook, not on the live stream, but rather than order the book. Yeah, okay. Send a link to it. You could email me it, and then I'll just forward it to Alan. All right. So the next setup. So let's see. We have 16 people congruent, or 16 or 15. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And is it still snowing? Yeah. So it's snowing outside my house right now. So that's unreal. All right. Let's go to the next setup. What do we have here? Oh yeah, so another part in that video, the death ray video that they had, Tesla says atoms are rotations / vortices in fluid ether, which is 100% right. And now I'm actually gonna go over, well, this person whose name is Lino Dino. So he gave me permission. So both these, so Fractal Woman I had her on my channel, and then this other one, I know Dino. I asked him to come on the channel. He says he's too busy right now. Okay, so I just got a emergency alert. Did you get one right now on your phone? Oh, you don't have a phone. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so Alan is anti-phone until there's until they mandate until they mandate the neural link, and then once they mandate that, then you can be using the phone. But yeah, so I just got a see if it sees it. I just got an emergency alert on the phone. Amber Alert saying issued by Surrey RSMP. The abducted female child is Ari Jenna Macaulay Rose Macaulay, described as 2 months old, Caucasian female, etc. So that was missing 2-month-olds. Holy, that's pretty sad stuff. Okay, so I know Dinu. I just wanted to show this quickly because or we could actually, let's see if I could find it. So they mentioned, so Tesla mentioned that fluid ether is what there's actually, I'm going to just go with the True Stream Media. So this one, I like the YouTube's, because you could search the transcript. So you can go here. I'm going to search this transcript quickly and find the transcript, show transcript, and then ether, or let's go aether. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this one actually, and then we'll show you the anal Dino, and then we'll get to the Wilhelm Reich stuff. I just want to start with this tangent. This is pretty epic stuff here.
Could have and should have changed the world.
Set in movement, this fleeing all space, which I quote, mastery of the physical universe was war required.
I just want to go over where's the ether becomes matter. Yeah, so this quote, this article or whatever by Tesla's pretty epic stuff.
Warfare. I meant that it would be conducted by direct application of electrical waves, without the use of aerial engines or other implements of destruction. I mean, I guess he could have been saying warfare there, but the original printing of this and every other place I've seen it printed from 1908 says welfare. He says future welfare. So I don't know. But listen to this letter. He says, from a report of your issue of March 11th, which escaped my attention, I noticed some remarks I made on the occasion referred to have been misunderstood. Allow me to make a correction. When I spoke of future welfare, I meant that it would be conducted by direct application of electrical waves without the use of aerial engines or other implements of destruction. This means, as I pointed out, would be ideal, for not only would the energy of war require no effort for the maintenance of its potentiality, but it would be productive in times of peace. This is not a dream. Even now, wireless power plants could be constructed by which any region of the globe might be rendered uninhabitable without subjecting the population of other parts to serious danger or inconvenience. What I said in regard to the greatest achievement of the man of science whose mind is bent upon the mastery of the physical universe was nothing more than what I stated in one of my unpublished addresses, from which I quote, "According to an adopted theory, every ponderable atom is differentiated from a tenuous fluid filling all space merely by spinning motion, as a whirl of water in a calm lake."
Yeah, so that statement right there, according to an adopted theory, every ponderable atom is differentiated from a tenuous, or like I think it means like has some sort of stiffness to it, filling all space merely by spinning motion as a whirl of water in a calm lake. All right, we can we'll get back to the rest of the quote there, or we could probably skip it. But I just wanted to show this Enol Dinu. So he gave me permission to upload any of his videos, and also Fractal Woman as well. And I will be sharing those in my MES experiments. So Enol Dinu, remember what Tesla said, and then keep that in mind. I'll play it again once we get to it. So what he discovered, or I'm on this channel right here. So Enol Dinu is at Aether Science, or Ether Science. So here is his first video, and he shows this one right here, experiments with cylinders, and I'll upload these ones.
In this experiment, we're going to study what happens to two identical cylinders rotating completely submerged in water. Here we have two identical cylinders completely submerged in water and connected by two flexible hoses to two identical electric motors. The electric motors will be driven by a common 12 volts car battery. In one case, the motors will rotate in opposite directions, therefore the cylinders will rotate in opposite directions in water. In another case, the motors will rotate in the same directions. Therefore, the cylinders will rotate in the same directions in water.
All right.
In this experiment, we're going to start the motors, which are going to rotate the cylinders in opposite directions. Let's see.
All right, so he's going to spin these opposite directions, cylinders in water, and see what happens.
What happens? We start motors now.
All right.
We see that the cylinders attract each other and now are sticking to each other. Let's try to separate them.
Yeah. So opposite directions, they stick. And this will get to basically an analogy of magnetism. And it goes back in.
Oh, we see them attracting each other again and sticking to each other. Let's stop the motors.
Yeah, and the next one he's going to do reverse, and they're going to repel.
We observe that the cylinders are coming back to their original positions. And now let's start the motors again.
Yeah, so see the repulsion?
We observe that they attract each other again and
I know, I mean,
stick to each other now.
It's the same one, so that was the same one.
Cylinders,
Just want to go faster.
their relative distance is increasing.
Okay, so this one here.
In the same direction. Experiment, we're going to rotate the cylinders in the same direction.
Yeah, so same
and
direction.
see what happens. Let's start the motors now.
So same direction, they're going to start repelling.
We observe that the cylinders repel each other. Their relative distance is increasing. Let's try to push them against each other and see if we can.
As it pushes in, they're going to push back.
And what happens if we reduce the distance? Well, it's quite difficult to make them approach each other. We see that there is a force which is acting so that they.
Alright, so you get the idea there, and now his other video, he mimics magnets more closely. Alright, and he kind of puts some music, unraveling the nature of magnetic field. I don't want to get I don't want to get copyright claim. I'll just play music, but anyways. Okay. I'm gonna mute so I don't get copyright claim. So why do magnets? So look at how he has magnets right here, north and south. They attract. So north goes to south, south goes to north, and so on. And then if you flip, then they're gonna repel. All right. They're gonna repel. And they're gonna go back to the preferred position like that. right. Yeah, going further. Okay, so now I obtain the iron filings. Okay, let's just go continue. And yeah, so now he has vortices in water. So he has 2 rotators that produce water vortices. So he has containers inside that they spin. And then he'll show. And then he has it hanged with some water bottles there, so that they'll move away. He's gonna mimic the exact same setup. So one side's a bit hard to see. So rotators in this direction. So with his fingers out, where the darker one is gonna be the south, and then the lighter one's the north pole. Bottom of the vortex is actually no, the darker is I mean, never mind. It's the darker one right here is south. The lighter one is yeah, that's actually right. Yeah. So right hand rule. So right hand rule. And he's spinning that way, and watch what happens. So I'll be uploading his videos on my channel, because this is exactly what Tesla said. Alright, so rotors are produced vortices opposite direction facing each other. And then it's the same as magnets are opposite poles. Experiment 1. Alright, so there it is. Here's the experiment. Experiment 1. Yeah, okay, so they attract when they're opposite sides. So this is the north, they're south. So when they spin opposite, they're going to go and spin together. Experiment 2, he has them on the reverse side. Oh, actually, no, he has, I think the same thing. Okay, same thing. And they just connect. I just want to fast forward this. Okay, experiment 1. So this one now he has them on the side, and see what happens. So when you put them on the side, the magnets, so notice the magnets, they want to go to the position that they prefer. So you put them both on the, if you put magnets where the north and north are together, and the south and south together, they're going to turn around. And the same thing's going to happen here. So these are on the same poles, they're going to automatically switch. And then they're going to go and connect exactly how the setup is. All right, and then yeah, but you get the idea. It's literally just spinning cylinders of the ether, and you can do the same setup here, and they always do the same thing. Where's the whoops? Okay, and they always. So now what he has is the magnet. Yes, this one is the south on the south on the south of the water cylinders, and this one is south of the magnet. And if you let go, so they want to repel, and then want to go to the preferred position, which is connected like that. So they did the exact same thing. All right, so that is what I wanted to show, and that was pretty epic stuff here. And then going back to the Tesla video, going back right here. So according to an adopted theory, this was, let's go here. What Tesla said, according to an adopted theory, every ponderable atom is differentiated from a tenuous fluid, filling all space merely by spinning motion as a whirl of water in a calm lake. All right, and then the waves, you could think of it as like the vibration of the actual ether. And there's the atoms, and so all right, and yes, we can continue further. And actually, there's a question for you. Well, not really a question. This person states, yes, so Paul Lovell says the best JFK researcher is Joseph Farrell. Alan, do you know that person, Joseph Farrell?
I think I've heard the name.
Okay, yeah,
I've heard the name, but I prefer Mae Brussel. She's
all right.
She did a huge amount of work.
That's good. It's good. And yeah, so JFK live stream might be something, especially when it's JFK anniversary, possibly, just to get the views up. Just check a look here, JFK assassination. See the time. Let's go to the wiki. So oh, it's November 22nd. All right. So we'll book that for next year if you want to plan for that long. So November 22nd, emergency live stream.
Okay.
JFK emergency live stream. Let's go. I just want to check what day that would be, so I don't need to get off my. Oh, whoops. December 24, and this is right after the election as well, and it's coinciding with well, possibly Trump's fake assassination that's supposed to happen. So here to. Yeah, so I have someone predicting that September 23rd, 2024 is Trump's assassination. All right, so Friday, November 24th, or the day after, whichever one. We'll do an emergency JFK live stream.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So let's continue. Let's see what else is in the thingy. Oh yeah. So the Hutchison effect. Should we go through? Yeah. Okay. So that video, TruthStream never mentioned that Trump's uncle was a scientist. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I'll go over that. Yeah, so TruthStream doesn't mention 9/11 in the video, but ignores that it literally involves a Tesla tech, or Tesla technology, or Tesla death rate, whatever. And then HARP, they also go over HARP weather control and artificial aurora light, but they don't mention the Hurricane Erin in that one, well, especially not connecting to 9/11. And yet Tesla says atoms are rotations, vortices, and fluid ether. Going further, so Hutchison effect. Oh, actually, that was okay. So here's the plan. So we're gonna go over the Trump's uncle.
Yeah.
Hutchison effect, and
That's
then we'll
pretty amazing.
yeah, and then we'll go over to the Gong, Wilhelm Reich, and burning paper with hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a lot to go through. Okay, but I didn't think that the Tesla stuff was gonna be this long, but
That's fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of info I didn't realize. All right, so this one here.
You need your tab, do you?
Oh, there it is. You got it. Okay. So as Alan, so beforehand I asked if he knew that the person that was tasked to investigate Tesla's papers was actually John George Trump, or Trump's uncle. So this is literally, he is the uncle of former United States President Donald Trump. So John George Trump, and he was noted for developing radiation therapy. All right. And radiation therapy, in my opinion, is not that good. So, especially because I'm a German new medicine, well, I lean towards that as my health worldview. So together with Robert Van de Graaff, so remember the Van de Graaff generator, he developed one of the first 1,000,000-volt X-ray generators. All right, so we have a radiation therapy, this, in my opinion, fake cancer treatment being pushed by Donald Trump's uncle. And also note that his mom was named Elizabeth Christ Trump. And if you see my other videos, a whole bunch of Antichrist narrative symbolism involved with Trump. Anyways, Tesla. So in early 1943, 2 days after the death of Nikola Tesla, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, ordered the Office of Alien Property Custodian. So there's an alien properties that are looking for. To seize Tesla's belongings, Trump was called in to analyze Tesla artifacts, which were held in government custody. After a 3-day investigation, Trump's report concluded there was nothing which would constitute a hazard in unfriendly hands. And I think there's like classified or something. During the war, Trump also served in the advisory specialist group on radar, advising U.S. Air Force General Carl Spaatz on navigation radar, precision bombing radar, and also defenses against the German raiders found their night fighters and in their flak units. And yeah, so he's involved with war and so on. And at the end of the war, Trump also conducted debriefing interviews with Germany's main radar technicians, and he received a recognition for his war work partnership for both the United States and the United Kingdom. All right, epic stuff. So Stephen F says interesting numerology on his dads. On his dads? Yeah, his dad's. Let's see what other stuff was. Okay, can we discuss Qigong and body energy? All right, so we have people wanting to discuss this, so we'll skip that. We'll do the Hutchison effect at the end. People are speaking, and let's go over here. So we have getting to the Qigong right now. So Paul Level says, can we discuss Qigong and body energy? And also, yeah, you should both listen to Chaos audiobook. It doesn't focus on JFK. It does intersect, though, via MK Ultra and COINTELPRO. All right, guys, we are going into Qigong. Sorry if it took
What are we skipping over, though?
Oh, no, we're just going to skip over the Hutchison effect. We'll go over Hutchison effect at the very end.
Okay, there's the Secret of Nikola Tesla. That's that movie I'm recommending if you want to learn about Tesla.
Yeah, I'll put this in the link. And then if we have time at the end, we'll go through it. Oh, so dates. Interesting numerology in his dates. Yes. Oh, yes. Send me some numerology that I haven't seen. All right, going over. So the next part here. So Wilhelm Reich. And then at the end, we'll also go to that airline info. I saw that one of your emails in your newsletter talking about the airline. I think it was something to do with COVID, and the airliners had a lot of cardiac arrest or something like that. I'll have to look at that. But anyways, that's probably for near the end. So let's continue. And yes, if you wanted to speak about Wilhelm Reich, and then we can go into the Qigong, or do the Qigong first. And we also have the Reichian Therapy. Go on.
I know they want to talk about Qigong. We'll get to that in a sec. But I really want to tie together Reich and the free energy. What Tesla was working with, Reich also worked with, Wilhelm Reich. He was a doctor. He was one of the very first to work with psychotherapy. He worked with Sigmund Freud. He was one of his main students and then eventually became a practitioner. But they had a falling out because Reich really felt that Sigmund Freud's early theories about the libido and everything, that was correct. And there was pressure on Sigmund Freud to change his views. The psychologists and psychiatrists that worked around him were trying to push him in a different direction. Because basically what Reich discovered is that as children, we're shaped. Our views on life and our ability within ourselves is shaped via sexual repression. It's like when you're a little child and you touch yourself and your parents come along and call you a dirty boy or a dirty little girl for touching yourself. They make you feel guilty about sex. And if you just stop this page here, this is a graphic narrative I did. If you were to show on television two people having intercourse, having sexual intercourse, that would be called pornography, okay? And that would be immediately, that's bad, that's terrible, okay? But if you showed two people killing each other, some guy getting his head cut off or whatever, that's okay. That's okay to show in public. So now just think that, I know everyone doesn't want to go down the sex angle, but just think about it for a moment. What kind of a society is that when you say showing two people making love and creating life is bad, and showing two people killing each other with extreme violence, that's okay. We can show that to children. So that's that kind of mentality. Granted, you have to be careful. But this is the society we live in. A lot of people, particularly Christians, they talk about how, oh, there's nothing but sex on TV. I would say, no, it's not sex. It's titillation. They get you all worked up, showing, someone walking around in a scanty outfit, and you see their body, and you get all worked up. But then you don't get to have the culmination of that, an orgasm or sexual satisfaction. You don't get that. We'll take that away from you. You're all worked up, and now we'll show you some violence. And that is how you can work out your energy.
That's interesting.
So what happens to people is they start to repress themselves. And it's called armor. It's called body armor. And there's character armor. It's the mind working in concert with the body. And it's holding the body back. And if you read this little graphic narrative, it doesn't take long. It will explain all this to you. But when you work with a Reichian therapist, someone who's trained in trying to de-armor you, basically get you back to the way you were when you were a child, when you were in touch with what we would call your core values deep down inside you, where you know what you want to do, you know how you feel. You know how so many people, you see them as followers, they're sheep, they can't think for themselves. We just went through COVID with this. That's because so many of them are so repressed, they've lost touch with that compass inside themselves, that compass that you had as a child that told you what you wanted to do. I want to show you something here real quick. I was lost for many years, trying so many different things. I couldn't find what it was that I really wanted to do. When I went through Reichian therapy, I found out deep down inside, I always wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to be a painter. Well, here it is. This is a report card, and I just found this the other day, from first grade, or what Canadians call grade 1. And my teacher here marks under art, okay? It's right here under art. It says, does excellent artwork. Alan shows true talent in this field. I lost touch with this, completely lost touch with it, because I had my tonsils out, I got overweight, and I became the butt of everyone's joke as I went through school. And I just turned, my personality turned into something else, and I lost touch with all these things down inside. And it took me like 50 years to refine that. And I did it through the therapy. So people out there that are trying to search for something that really means something to them, some like you, Matt, you have to do math every day. You know, you have conventional math. You don't feel right unless you do math. I don't feel right unless I draw or paint or do something to create, express myself.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I didn't know that you were overweight before because you looked pretty fit.
So it's taken me a long time to learn how to keep it off,
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, but I had a low thyroid. I wouldn't burn up my food like other kids would.
Okay, yeah. So I've pretty much been the same weight since high school. I think the heaviest I've ever been was probably 165 for that was like pretty much 15 pounds above my normal. That was my first year of university because there's a lot of sitting and whatever. and then within like a month I lost I think 30 pounds. It just went to the gym a lot. Just got it back. But then I was too low. Now I'm back to my pretty much 145 ish.
Don't move the screen. There's something here. What? Don't move it. You see a man looking under a microscope.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm talking about here, and I can imagine Dr. Andrew Kaufman would really roll his eyes at this, but I'm sorry, it's documented.
Yeah.
Reich would take his blood right out of his wrist, okay, and he put it on a slide and look at it with a super high-powered microscope. And for about a second, he would see the blood glowing blue, and then the blue glow would disappear. That is the energy. It's right inside us. It's all around us. It flows everywhere. And that is what Qigong, and you have a link to a book here. Qigong is a way to get to know that energy and start playing with it. The reason I recommended this book is you can literally learn Qigong without an instructor using this book. I recommend getting the actual, hard copy, which isn't hard to get. But in case you can't afford it, here it is here. You can always print out this PDF file. But let me just show you something really quickly here. Qigong is completely the opposite of Western exercise. The old Western, no pain, no gain, extreme sports, all this. It can harm your body after a while. Sooner or later, you get injuries. You have to be careful. So what Qigong is really about is healing your joints, getting the energy flow, attracting more energy, so that when you move, if you look at this book, if you're interested in getting into it, the movements are slow and gentle, no force. I started and probably did it for 2 weeks, and I used what's called holding the tree posture, where you keep your hands out in front of you and you just stand. And I did this for 10, 15 minutes a day. After 2 weeks, all of a sudden, I felt this flash of energy go through my breastbone. And I thought, what is that? And after a while, you start to realize this is the energy flow. You start feeling it in the palms of your hands. They heat up. In fact, some days when you move slowly, the session can be so powerful that you'll start to sweat. And you are just moving slowly. You're not in any way straining anything. It's really amazing. So for healing your body, healing joints, I've got so many injuries. I do this stuff every day. This book, there are specialty exercises, there's warm-up exercises, there's all sorts of things. You really need to read the introduction carefully and all the instructions carefully, but it's very simple. And if you stick with it, you will start to feel this energy flow. And on the page where this book is, I wrote a review. So that can also kind of guide you along to my experience, what I had.
Yeah, I'll have a review right here. All right, this is Art Graphican. That's your alter ego. All right, so this is Alan's review. Let's read it right here. Still water runs deep. How do I can't zoom in anymore. Or do I? Okay, now I can zoom in with my keyboard. All right, experience. Still water runs deep. Experience what Nikola Tesla and Wilhelm Reich were experimenting with, the limitless energy field all around us. Experience what the Western medical establishment ignores, the role of nature's energy and the health of the mind and body. Yes, the exercises are gentle, simple, and flowing. If you have not felt energy flowing in your body before, then these claims will sound strange. When I started Qigong, I decided to practice without judgment. After a month of daily practice, I suddenly felt a flash of energetic warmth pass through my breastbone, the first sensation I had of Qi. Since then, the sensation of Qi has grown to the point where I feel as though I am in a warm, invisible energy field with these flowing movements. My hands become hot as the energy channels through my body and around me. This little book of Qigong technique by Master Dong is a definition of still water runs deep. Using this book, your Qigong practice will lead you to soothe and repair damaged joints, increase your energy, and ultimately lead to a meditative stillness that borders on another world. Epic stuff, actually. I might start trying, because my left ankle's just been, just this past year, just injured in soccer, and it still hasn't gone away like fully. So that's something I need to use some Qi for that.
There is a exercise in there for your knees, and that will also work for your ankles. You might want to take a look at that. Next time I see you, I can show it to you.
Oh, yeah, epic. Yeah, I need to figure this one because I usually I barely get injured. Just this left ankle one, just nagging. Let's see. The was it knee? I think you said.
Okay, now do you need to do a tab?
No, I'm on this right here.
You're okay.
Oh no, so it's not searchable. So these are images. Okay. No, I was searching knee, so I'll have to go sift through it. So
it would be the gosh, how many pages we talking here? 110. It's the special exercises, the advanced exercises.
Is there a table of contents somewhere in here? Okay, there it is. Let's see. The beginner exercises, advanced meditation exercises, part 3. Is that the one?
No, it's this one here. Exercises for common problem areas. See, there it says 97 is.
Oh, 97.
Knees.
All right, we are on to 97. Knees. All right, so let's see what this guy's doing.
Really, all you're doing is, and you're not moving your hands, you're doing everything from your hips.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing these little circles, and that's going to affect also your ankles. The idea is to get the energy flowing, and it's a massage. It's like it's massaging. I have bad knees, so particularly my left one. Mm-hmm. And this, as long as I do this every day, I don't have any problems with my knees anymore.
All right, that's good. Yeah, so like my ankle is just when I play soccer, because it's again it is pretty aggressive sometimes, running around with the cleats and then kicking the ball. But yeah, I will try this, and I will let you guys know if this works. I'm gonna get a Qigong master to come on the show. You'll be invited as well, Alan. Yeah. So one thing. Yeah. As you said earlier, like if I don't do math, I feel dumb if I don't do math. I don't feel mentally sharp if I don't do math as often as I should. So if I ever go like too long without it, I just feel like I feel mentally weak.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
But another thing I want to say was, I'm also big on promotion. So if I find something that works, I'll have to promote it. Like 9/11, when it came across my perception, that became the urge of promoting that as widely as possible. So 9/11 and promotion. So if the Qigong, if this helps me out, I'll be the biggest Qigong channel on YouTube.
Well, the thing is to learn to move without tension. That's the hard thing for people in the West. Women have an advantage because their movements are generally softer than men. Mm-hmm. So women generally have a head start on men in Qigong. But you have to learn how to move without any muscular tension. You've got to just really relax. You breathe deeply, and you will start to notice some things. It's also really good for your mind. You just got to chill out, keep your mind quiet, and just concentrate on the movements. You might put a little music in the background if you want, but I mean, just go with the flow.
No, for sure. So I was asking a link to those archive right here. Any chance you get a link to the information? Yeah, guys, all the links, I just sent a link to that book. So someone wants that. I'll share this as well. So someone wanted that as well. But also, guys, I put the link in the video description or the live stream description. I include the links, a link to all the links that we're covering. So make sure to always check it, and then just check it right here. Yeah, so this one includes all the links, and there's a book over there, and you can see it as we're covering this. So for all my live streams, except I think the first couple ones I didn't do it. But then, yeah, so what I do is check the description, have a link to it, and you see all the notes and links and so on. But yes, epic stuff here. So, yeah, another thing I wanted to ask is, so yeah, to tell audience, how long have you been doing the Qigong for?
Since 1995.
Holy. Okay.
So,
and you said it helped you lose weight as well?
No. That was, I had to study diets.
Okay.
And I used to do macrobiotic diet quite a bit, but now I have sort of a modified. There's just certain foods I stay clear of. I might like them, but I stay away from.
Well, what I do now, I've been doing it for I think 7 years, 8 years, is intermittent fasting. Well, it's not really intermittent for my style. It's literally fasting. So I would eat pretty much once a day. So like, it depends if I have soccer, I'll eat it. It's slightly I'll modify it. But like for example today, so I haven't eaten anything except besides I just ate a pear before this live stream, so I have the energy to go. But so I usually just eat one meal, and it's a giant meal at like 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then for like a couple hours I'm like bloated, so I can't move. But then yeah, so the wake up, no eating, just drink coffee and water, and the whole day. Yeah, and I found it really good. Yeah, like it's one of the. Yeah, so when my brother told me to try it, and I tried, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for a while, because what I realized was when you eat breakfast, so that's when you break your fast. That's when your metabolism starts going. So it's when you start getting hungry. So it's like you want to try to make it go as long as you can without feeling that hunger. And then once you start eating, just eat until you're full, and then you're done. and so when I do that, I can eat whatever during that time frame, and not feel guilty, because I know I'm gonna go through a whole period of burning fat. Another thing is when you haven't eaten, your body burns the excess, like reserves, like the fat. So it feels like it's starving. So your body has a starvation mode. So it burns the fat as opposed to storing fat. So usually people they gain weight is when they eat food, like periodically, and then your body's defensive mechanism is to store it up as fat in case you run out of food. So the trick is, well, just don't eat, and then your body just burns the fat. And it's not like a unhealthy way. It's pretty good. And what I do, yeah, it's kind of like telling your body, okay, we're not in a, we're just not gonna eat. Just burn it off. And what I do is I use soccer as my litmus test. So if my fitness is worse, I'll adjust my diet. If it's better, I'll keep going. So it's helped a lot.
I find though, when you get to be my age, you have to be careful about eating really large meals.
Oh, even my age. Yeah,
it's really hard on your body to all of a sudden pack an awful lot of food. And when you're younger, you can probably get away with that okay. But I can't. That's why I try to eat 3 meals, but none of them are too large.
No, 100%. But it's not just for older. Even in the younger ones, it's hard. Like for me, I couldn't do this at the start. It took me a while to get to. It took me first. I started eating at 12, then like at noon, and then later, okay, I'll break the fast at 1 p.m. Then gradually, and then it becomes almost like second nature. So like, if I were to go eat a dinner and someone was watching me eat, I can like literally absorb it all. It's like your stomach actually like adjusts to it. So it's one thing, yeah. But then as you said, is right. As you get older, you do not ignore your body. So if your body's saying, hey, if your body says I can't eat this much, you're gonna have to separate this. So that's another thing. You have to listen to your body. Whatever diet you follow, you need to have some sort of gauge, litmus test. One is how you feel. Another one is what performance, what thing can you measure. So never take any diet face value. Everything's personalized to whatever you are doing or on.
Yeah, that's right. No, it isn't one size fits all. You have to tailor it to yourself.
Yeah, this isn't mainstream science where just every single person get a vaccine of unknown concoction. And not just that, when they give animals, they give it regardless of the weight. So for example, if they take a dog to a vet, the small one gets the same dose as this large dog. So that's something to think about. So it's a one size fits all. Well, their kind of model is fit everyone into one model. If you die off, that's just survival of the of the fittest of the one form. All right, let's continue further. And do you want anything more on that book? Do you want to discuss?
Gosh, I thought of something about Reich. His books, the very first one that really, it's called Character Analysis. This is sort of a book that a lot of people, even mainstream psychologists, still respect. But the book to read about this discovery of the energy of the orgone.
Oh, so the Orgone one, okay. Yeah.
This one here, this is, if you really want to get into Reich, this is the best book to read to begin. It's called The Function of the Orgasm, the Discovery of the Orgone. And in a nutshell, the function of the orgasm, if it's a full, unbridled sexual orgasm, you release excess energy that was pent up inside your body. That's the point of it, is also to balance your energy in your body. And people who hold against pleasure because they have these guilt feelings about sex, they don't have an unbridled orgasm. They hold back. And so they do not release the energy to balance their body. That means their body's retaining energy. So if they have any neuroses, any strange habits, any quirks to their personality, that supercharges those problems. And that is the point of Reichian therapy, is to loosen the armor in the body, in the mind, and you can let the energy flow without trying to hold against it. That's the important thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I did look through a lot of that, and he also was able to connect it to actual biological entities.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was the interesting part where I.
And he had devices. For instance, this is an orgone blanket.
Oh wow!
Okay,
You have it. I'm gonna share the. I'll stop presenting so that you can see that. See the blanket.
Yeah, this is the orgone blanket, and I purchased this actually for my parents, but they're gone, so I'm using it. And I put this over myself, and you can feel the energy start to collect, and your hands start to get a tingle, and you can tell when you've had too much because you don't feel right. You just take it off. But yeah, it's really good, especially for injuries. If you had an orgone blanket and you wrapped it around your ankle at night when you were sleeping, that might really help.
Okay, I gotta try that. This is epic stuff here. Because so what I do is if I experience something and it works, I'll be promoting it big time.
The thing is, you have to do it without judgment when you start.
No,
because
for sure.
if you start thinking, well, I want to feel it, when I don't feel it, this doesn't work. No.
Well, this is kind of where I tie in German new medicine to everything, because it's like whatever you take, if your psyche's not in it, it's not going to work. Even the inner chi, etc., orgone energy, it's not going to work if your mind's not there. Yeah, because it's like automatically suppressing it. Because your chi or whatever, or German medicine. I'm gonna go orgone blanket. So I had a look at the some of the science of the orgone accumulators and so on. So he would intermix. Let's see, he would intermix like metal, like copper, and then with like fabric or just cotton or whatever, and intermix it back and forth. So
organic and inorganic.
Yeah, inorganic, yeah.
Yeah, layers of that, and the orgone blanket has the same thing. Like you never would wash that because it's got steel wool is in there, and that would rust. So you wouldn't want to do that.
So here's orgone blanket right here. So it has wool, steel wool, steel wool. Okay, I might have to just make it myself then. It's an orgone accumulator. You've been in one of these, right?
No, I've never been in one, but my therapist in Seattle, his name's Mitch Singer. If you're in the Seattle area, that's the guy to go to. He's really great. Anyways, he had one in his living room.
Okay, we need one of those. This is some epic stuff. Yeah, speaking about this, it might be actually similar to this, but not exactly. So I have one issue with my hands. Always get cold when it's like soccer, especially in the cold winter in Canada. Let's see if I go hands. So I got these compression gloves, and they actually work pretty good. And what they have is, well, it's compression, but they also have these copper rings around the whole thing. I don't know what that does, but it's... Oh, let me just show this here. Again, I was sharing the screen. It's on Telegram. Search up. So I have these ones, and they help a whole lot. I cannot believe it. So they help with the hands being cold. But I also still wear layers, but it has like these copper around, and it's like compressed as well, so the circulation goes back and forth. So that was interesting. So it's somewhat similar to this. All right, so Orgone blanket, that is on my bucket list. Or blanket list. Yeah. Timothy Sullivan says the blanket sounds highly flammable. It is for sure. And then Paul Lovell says I've had psychic sexual experiences before where I was so connected with my partner that we had the same closed eye visions. We saw laser light bouncing around the room, but both of our eyes were shut. All right, so he has eyes watch shut going on. Let's go in here. All right. What's the next setup here? So we have 15 people right now. Yeah, blanket is highly flammable indeed. All right. Let's see the next setup here. Oh yeah. So the next setup I wanted to ask actually before we get to more of the qigong, and we'll show the guys burning his hands.
Oh yeah, you gotta show that.
Yeah. So I wanted your thoughts on German New Medicine. Also feedback on the Kaufman live stream, because I actually shared one of your emails about the. Here, Alan Forrest. You're like a mainstay on my Telegram, because I post all your stuff here. I posted just before this. I posted your the biggest vaccine lie exposed cartoon you made, or the drawing.
Yeah.
And I put the links to your stuff as well. And so this one right here. And yeah, how did you like the thumbnail? I added the.
It's great. That's great. Yeah.
So this is you, right? This person on the right.
It could be. Yeah, sure. When I was younger.
No. Okay. All right.
I was a young guy.
But yeah, if you don't mind if you don't mind me asking, how much overweight were you? Like, how heavy were you?
Oh, really? I was like, when I was in 7th grade, I was like 175 pounds. So I was at least 45 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And speaking of that overweight, so my brother, he works at the ICU at the Langara. No, not Langara. I mean at the Vancouver General Hospital. Oh, Vancouver General. Okay. Yeah. So he messaged me. This was August. In August, he had a patient. Guess how heavy she was. I don't know. Well, everyone in the audience, you guys can guess as well. Guess. Just make a guess. 400 pounds? No, more. Oh my God. 500? More. 600? More. 700. All right, 700 pounds. They needed like she couldn't get off. She's like bedridden. So then, and when God. They need so like sad. Yeah, they need like an army of like wrestlers to go and move her. That's so sad. Yeah, but this also goes to it is sad. I apologize for laughing, but that's another thing I have an issue with. I laugh at everything. But it is sad. But it also shows that the body is willing to adapt. Like whatever extremes you think of, your body can literally go to it in the good or the bad. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because 700 pounds is unthinkable, but somehow, like, imagine the organs, how much they would stretch the food, and it keeps going. Okay, this person says I've lost 80 pounds through walking. So right leg, was that a guess? 250? So you're off. 250 is only like 500 pounds or something. Actually, I wanted to go the. Actually, I sent this one here where you emailed Bonnie Henry. And Adrian Dix. Now these are epic. I love it when you go right at them. Like, imagine Bonnie Henry and Adrian Dix just checks their emails and be like, oh, what is this guy telling me? Oh yeah, but this was Israeli news just saying the vaccines were fatality rates were high and so on. So it's like a mainstream. It's like they ignore even their own mainstream news. I just want to go went right here. So this is the email that you sent here. So I had it here. So you said great interview with Kaufman. Towards the end, you two got into a slight conflict about German New Medicine. I think you're onto something. I heard you say a couple of things that rang a truth bell. Epic stuff here. And so what's your thoughts on German New Medicine? Well, with German New Medicine, they're kind of really kind of springboarding off of Reich's work.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason that a lot of people get cancer is they have resigned themselves. They're very unhappy. My aunt, she was a sweet lady, but she was very unhappy. She wanted to be a nurse when she was a little girl, and the town doctor, Dr. Knox in Kelowna, told her mother, no, Auntie's not, your daughter is not strong enough to be a nurse. She'd never do that for a living, forget it. She doesn't have the constitution. So she was told she couldn't be a nurse, and she was always unhappy. She worked in the bank. She carried this with her for the rest of her life, and she died of cancer.
Wow.
And you could tell in her personality there was a sadness. There was something that was unfulfilled. She wanted to take care of people. Her name was Anita, and she wanted to be a nurse, to be out there, be doing things. And I think she could have. I think this doctor should have kept his mouth shut, I mean, it ruined her life in a way. Her mother was very domineering over her. She had taken her children and got her own apartment, and she was sharing it with this other woman who was a con artist and stole all her furniture, everything. She had nothing. She had to move back in with her mother, and her mother had the thumb on her the rest of her life.
Wow.
That poor woman, And this is what I mean. There are people out there living lives of quiet desperation. They're very unhappy. They're lost. They can't find that core down inside. And that's what Reichian therapy is all about, is helping you connect with what you really want to do, what you really care about. It's going to make you more creative. It's going to make you freer. It's going to open you up. But you have to be willing to do the physical work as well as the talking. Because what happens is a Reichian therapist gets you to breathe continually, deeply. And as you keep breathing up, your body says, wait a minute, how come I'm breathing so heavy? It must be some trauma. There's something going on. And what does your body do? Because it's been trained, you've trained it over the years to protect yourself from any trauma. You tighten down, you hold down, you stop the energy flowing. And the Reichian therapist looks through your body, starts finding where those muscles are really tight. And he pushes them until they have to let go. And all of a sudden your body realizes, oh my God, I don't need to hold on like that. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. It's retraining your body to tolerate the energy flow, and therefore you can get to what's going on deep inside you. Right now, with a lot of people, there's a wall they can't get through.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's one thing I noticed is that Reichian therapy and German medicine have a lot of similarities. In a way, that could be the same thing, but in a for Reichian therapy is more of the physical, actual energy setup, and then the German medicine is more of the psyche, how it's connected to it. So in a way where if you repress children and so on, it's the same thing. It's in German medicine where what you say to other people are going to affect them health-wise. It's like how people react to what is being said. With the Reich, it's more about what's actually the energy flow going through it. And it looks like he's tapping into the fundamental setup there, which is I definitely think is onto something. All right. See some comments here. Okay, so Jeremy sees some comments right now. Jeremy says, "Oh, I was behind on live stream. Never mind. I was trying to guess your girlfriend's weight. All right." I think he's talking about the 700-pound.
No.
No, I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, pseudo-scientist, only research Wilhelm Reich, no others. But yeah, and then another thing I want to go about the Wilhelm Reich stuff. So like, his books were banned and burned.
Oh yeah. The FDA burned his books in an incinerator in New York City. This was in the 50s, 57 or something. And they made him break up. The FDA agents went out. And they made, in fact, in this book, it's called Book of Dreams. This is by Wilhelm Reich's son, Peter Reich. It's a wonderful book. And he talks about when these agents came out and made them destroy the Orgone accumulators and everything else that had to do with the Orgone, all his research. And they shipped his books to New York and they burned them. And it's just, you think the Nazis are the only ones that burned them. No.
No, I know. This was when I saw them, like, they're burning books about someone talking about, like, body energy.
Yeah. They don't want people to know about this. This is one of the biggest cover-ups in the world. And it ties into 9/11. It ties into the weather control. It ties into your health. Think about it. Western medicine says that this doesn't exist. That's why Western medicine is so half-baked. They're great at repairing, a broken bone or stitching, but your health.
Well, even then, so even then, I think even the healing of the broken bones and stuff, I think even that possibly limited. There could be some even, because like this kind of opens the stuff. What else is possible if you can heal this more subtle stuff? But then what about a broken bone? Maybe you can fuse those together.
Could be.
With so that's kind of what I mean. Like I always hear that take. They said, oh, mainstream is only good for broken bones and trauma. I think even that's probably not as good as it should be. So
sure. I bet. Yeah.
And so this book burning, I think another part where I think it's why it's being burned. So anytime I see like a sports game and they have the pre-game like anthem, and then they do like usually a salute to the army and stuff, I think of Wilhelm Reich's fascism statements. So let's see, NFL.
Oh yeah, and just to point to anyone, there's also a link to one of Wilhelm Reich's books, one of his best books, The Mass Psychology of Fascism.
Yeah.
It's another PDF, and it is the absolute best translation. It's done by Theodore Wolff, who did the translation with Reich himself.
Wow, yeah. So I always think of that when I see like the anthem being played and everyone's standing up for U.S. and they have the for example, everyone's standing up and putting all their energy into pretty much like saluting the war machine, which is the U.S. And then they have the military airplanes flying over, and then they go bring in all the veterans, and then everyone's just rallying up. And so here's a good photo. And then there's like USA, and then they start chanting USA, USA. But and ultimately what you're cheering for is literally just more war. Share this tab. So here's a good image. So when I see this, I think of Wilhelm Reich. You got the military choppers above and so on. And pretty much all countries are the same though. They're all going to be doing the same setup. And then when you have the North Korea, let's say March military or something like that. It's literally what Reich's talking about, how you mind control people. So like in order to have this, you're going to need every single person become a robot with no emotion. So to do this, you're going to need to burn Reich's books, or just any sort of like humanity that's questioning order following. So this.
Another one of Reich's books, which we don't have a link for, but it's called Listen, Little Man.
Yeah, I read a part of that.
And that is got some amazing cartoons in it that were done by William Steig. And he lampoons society. I mean, just lampoons everything that we don't like about our own society. It's in this book.
Yeah. And then so someone says right here, German Olympics were broadcast on live TV. Yeah, I think so. Live TV, yeah, 100%. So I think it's probably possibly because I did too much math. So like so he has a lot of good points about how society is and so on. But like my philosophy is that you have to account for everything. So for example, free energy exists. Also, anti-gravity exists. I believe Wilhelm Reich is also looking at UFOs.
Yes. This book here, Contact with Space.
Oh, you got
the
everything.
the cloud buster is something you're going to want to look into.
Yeah, the cloud. I've seen some of his videos on there where he would point like a tube and just form clouds.
Tubes, and it would go into usually a flowing water. And what he went to Arizona to change the landscape of Arizona because it was so arid, dry, a desert. He went to the worst part of Arizona, the driest, to try and make grass grow, to try and change the climate there so things would grow. And he did it. And they documented the whole thing. The newspapers were following it. And he talks about it in this book. But he also talks about UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this was witnessed by his son as well, that when he would use his cloud buster, and yeah, there it is. When he would use his cloud buster, this would attract these, what he called EAs. I've forgotten what that stands for. And they would see them on the horizon, these lights moving around. And his son discovered that if they pointed the cloud buster at the EA, at the UFO, they could make it go away. It didn't like it. And Reich was wondering if these craft were coming here stealing our Orgone energy. Now think about it. Orgone is blue in color, a blue green or blue turquoise. When we look up at the sky, it's blue.
Mm-hmm.
Are we?
Wait, sorry, I got.
When you've got that much Orgone on top of one another, and the sunlight's come, that's why the sky's blue.
All right, yeah, that is interesting stuff. So the mainstream is like they would say, the blue light is what doesn't get scattered, or that's what gets scattered the most because it's higher frequency. And
This is a book you'd really like, Matthew. It's called Aether, God and Devil and Cosmic Superimposition.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of Reich's later works, which I believe he wrote in English. And this talks all about nature and energy. Why green or blue-green is like Orgone, and that's where the trees start to leaf up and become green. And he covers it in here beautifully. I mean, this is another book you should put on your reading list sometime.
all right, you got the whole collection.
Not all of them, but I got a lot of them.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Let's see. There was another thing about the Reich, and then yeah. So he was able to look at that Orgone stuff like that. It's not just to emit blue color, but they also it looks like they were forming or existing even in like extreme conditions and so on. I think I forgot which book, possibly one of the papers that. It's been a while since I had a look at that. Let's see, going further, and let's see. I'm just getting a message right now. So I think I have like about 30 minutes before I had to head out. That's why I had to make it earlier. The stream. Just 1 second. Oh, I'm gonna message my brother. I'll be done in 30 minutes. But now it's snowing, so now that changes everything. Alright, so it's snowing. Let's see if I can see my screen. It's hard to see it. Let's see if I could bring it up. It's like
We're still getting a little over here in Surrey, but not too much.
Okay.
We have about a quarter of an inch on the ground.
Really, like literally right as you called me before the stream, and then it started it just started snowing. All right, so let's continue further and see what else we have. Oh yeah, so going over the chi, so the chi Orgone energy. So again, like me, I am a practical person, so I need to find something that I can like. I can be less speculative instead of just trusting people's experience. Like I want to be able to. This person right here, I'm going to share this right here. Share this tab. So Qigong master burns paper with his hand, and he does a whole bunch of healing. Have you done any Qigong? Like, have you gone to one of these masters Qigong stuff or no? Or just
no? But when I lived in Los Angeles, they had a guy that had come over from Asia. I didn't meet with him, but a friend of mine did. I don't know if he was at quite the extent of what this man can do, but he did use tinfoil on my friend's elbow. He had a problem with his elbow, and he used chi on the tin foil on the elbow, and it heated right up. He said it got so incredibly hot. It didn't burn him, but he could feel it. So he was a qigong healer.
That's interesting. Yeah, and a lot of this healing hand stuff, like even Jesus, the scriptures would write that he would heal with his hands. Like he would just touch someone and they would heal. So I'm like, he's got some.
Right here,
some
this is where we have energy coming out of our palms. One of the best exercises you can do for your eyes is simply to rub your palms together, lay down somewhere, and just put your palms over your eyes, and you will feel this tingling going on in your eyes. And it feels good. It's soothing. It's the energy coming out of your hands right into your eyes.
All right, I will try that actually. Okay, I will actually try that because I usually take like a 20-minute nap each day.
Yeah, that's a good
like
thing.
yeah. So once I eat my giant meal, right, I can't move, so I need to like.
Yeah.
No, I'm not joking when I say I can't move. Like if I move too much, I'll have to puke.
It's a bad idea to lay down flat after you've just eaten. It's better to get into like a chair, get your legs up so that the upper part of your body is up for digestion purposes.
Oh yeah, mine is for like I can't bend it. It's hard sitting. I do, yeah. Like I have to lie down, otherwise I can't function. Sorry about that. Some next level stuff. So this chi. Okay, so let's go to this qigong master. I also want to state so our friend so Lauren, the one that you met at the rally, as I said earlier. So she actually teaches qigong, and I had no idea.
That's cool.
So that'll be interesting. Discuss with her how this is. Okay, let's play this one here. So this qigong master burns paper with his hands, or with his hand. So if any one of you guys have been practicing qigong, and if you can do this, join a live stream because this guy's anti-publicity, doesn't want to be shown.
He then took our newspaper outside and showed us how qi can also be used to set things on fire. When he heard we'd shown this footage in public, he was very upset and refused all our future efforts to contact him again. As the years passed, we sadly resigned ourselves to never seeing him again. My brother Lorne never did, for by 1990...
Alright, so you saw that, guys. Unreal. So he was able to burn that fire. So again, if you can replicate this, that is some epic stuff. So another thing about the chi, about Orgone energy, the ether, and so on, which so like again, my philosophy of I don't know how much I've told you, but MES duality. So everything needs to match. It's not just this one thing, Orgone. So German medicine, they all need to match with everything else in order for it to be like, its accuracy needs to match. So one thing I've noticed is, so the Dragon Ball Z, have you ever seen Dragon Ball Z, the cartoon? Dragon Ball Z, it's like, I think Japanese or Chinese. So the whole thing is about mastering chi and energy, and they would use fireballs with energy, and they would, they literally was doing the same thing there. Let's do fireball or energy ball. So the whole show is about chi. Energy ball. Yeah, so the whole thing is about mastering chi, and you could turn superpowers by using your inner chi or whatever. And they would shoot fireballs with their hands. so it's literally, if you watch the series, it's pretty much what that guy's doing.
Well, yeah, if you look later in that video, he finally reaches out and contacts them. There's a session where he's working with a child, and the mother is trying to hold the child, but the chi is pushing her back. If you can find that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he said it was grounded and it was like zapped back, but I think it might be his chi might be actually.
I think it's before that.
Let's see. Oops, there was the child. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that where the mother's trying to
on you to fly off electricity so strong.
This mother unwittingly grounds her child.
She can't keep her head.
He won't
The
sit
force.
still, so she's asked to hold him and grin and bear it. Sometime.
Alright, yeah, so that's interesting stuff there. So I've seen that guy before. He was able to stop. Oh yeah, bullets coming out of a gun. Oh yeah, they have that as well. So this person.
Yeah.
The woman was also healed by her own faith when she touched the hand of Jesus' clothing. Interesting. Remember, healed the blind guy with the paste made of mud. All right. It's going further. Yeah. So there was the gun part. The gun. Let's see if I can find the gun. Let's see the gun. Yeah, this one. I think possibly. I'll do the transcript. There's no transcript. Shows gun. Okay, this doesn't show the gun or rifle. Okay, so there's rifle. This is why I like YouTube as a transcript.
Projecting chi from the palm of the hand can also be used to resist rifle pellets, he says. First, you learn to distinguish between yin and yang chi in your body. Then how to pool it in your navel chakra. Then how to project it, he says. And it's the proportion...
so we have a skeptic right here. Paul Lovell says, these are parlor tricks, MES has to be. Well, again, I am not going to say either or, but I'm leaning towards at least some parts of that is real. Because people underestimate the human body right here. Am I getting it? No. Okay. One thing, for example, another part of this chi is similar to that. It's the monks, the Shaolin monks right here. I upload this on my channel, so you can see the stuff that you can do when you're training, however they're doing it. So this guy right here is able to balance, going on one finger upside down.
You need to tab.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so this guy right here. If you search monks, you can see some of these Shaolin monks right here.
50年前，海登法师在
Let's play the video actually. YouTube would be bigger. Okay, so this guy right here, maybe link to
50年前。
Okay, so we have Joe. Apparently there are instances of people having superhuman strength in times of need, such as women lifting a car off their child, maybe linked to chi. Yes, 100% Joe. 100%, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of things that happen that people just brush off, like when they have feats of strength when they least suspect it, or when it's like in a conflict or something like that, or even like a placebo effect when someone's given something, but they weren't actually given it and they heal up. So this is a lot of it is chi / German medicine. I think it's pretty much similar, or like psyche, and you're basically tapping into what reality really is, as opposed to what we pretend we think we know. Because a lot of times people are stuck in our perception of reality while not thinking about the infinite. Like we wake up as billions of people, and it's just all we have is our own perception. So the question is, what if reality isn't as it is? All right, so here's a video right here. This guy, one finger handstand. Okay, so this guy is able to balance off one finger. So he's a Shaolin monk, so he's doing this a lot of times, but you need some chi for that, alright? There's another one here, and these guys are like training. Okay, see this guy's doing. Alright, so this guy is going.
You need to tap.
Oh, I showed this up. Sorry, every time I played, yeah, I gotta play the tab. So this guy right here. Play some music. I just don't want to get a copyright claim. Yeah, Paul says interesting. What the F? Yes, indeed. Okay, so these guys are training. What are they doing with the one finger? Let's see what he's gonna do. That's two fingers. 2-finger handstand, alright. So this is some absolute Shaolin. I think I have some other setup right here. Oh, this guy right here. So one finger. Yeah, and there's like the whole competition to see how much they can do. Alright, so I can do 2-finger push-ups. So I think that's what I can do. Like if you ever see it, maybe I'll upload it later. I can do push-ups with just one hand, 2-finger push-ups, not two. Just one. I think I could do one. I could do 2 easily, but I could do one. I think I could do 1 maybe. But that's hard. Shaolin. I think I have some other Shaolin stuff. So the Shaolin guys are next level. And so another thing about the Chi is Shaolin Soccer was another movie about the Chi. So I've seen a lot of entertainment stuff about it, but anyways, I haven't actually tried it myself. But I will try this for my ankle because I need to get this ankle healed. It's like it's fine, but then it just gets a bit inflamed when I play soccer. It's just annoying. All right, so going further to the next link, Alan. Let's see. I think we have 20 minutes because I have to head out. But it's snowing though. That changes everything. All right, so like, why is it snowing? All right, so another thing is so intro material. So is it what you wanted to cover? So these are some of the links. I haven't had a chance to go through all, but I think I have seen some of them, like the James DeMeo. So Alan.
Well, it's mostly for people if they want to learn more about Reich. These are some really, but I'll tell you one thing that's really interesting. If you go down to number 15, number 15 here, we don't have to listen to it, but this is a great interview, and it's from a Reichian perspective about COVID. And of course, they see through COVID, you know, they get that. But what they did, which I thought was hysterical, is during Woodstock was the first really big rock concert. You probably have heard of it. They did an album of it, a movie of it. Anyways, when Woodstock was happening in 1969, there was, or 68, whenever it was towards the end of the 60s. That was also when the Hong Kong flu was going on big time in the US. Okay?
Okay.
But yet thousands and thousands of people went to Woodstock sitting side by side. There was no epidemic. There was no breakout of the flu. Everyone was fine. And so Tom DeMeo, the guy in this, Tom D. Fernando. Fernando, okay.
Yeah, there's an F there.
He contacted some of the people that actually organized Woodstock during COVID, and he asked them, reminded them about the Hong Kong flu was going on, and how come you guys didn't worry about it then? And they just flipped out, you know, because they were brainwashed with the COVID number.
Wow.
And so they denied everything about the past, what happened. And so it's a really great interview. It's fascinating. And he talks about what Wilhelm Reich said was the emotional plague. And the emotional plague are for instance, in COVID, the emotional plague was those people that are like the Antifa characters, okay, that wore the mask and got the jabs and would yell at people who didn't wear the mask or would attack people. They're the ones that are so tight and into that armoring that I was talking about earlier, that they're into the program and they're never coming out. And those are the people that I'm in the protest movement. Those are the people that we are always having to push against. But those are part of the emotional plague.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's one thing I try not to be too hard on the normies, because they're they're the ones that most need, because they've bought in hook, line, and sinker, and they're emotionally invested in it, and especially the ones that think they're doing good. That's just it's like that's just too much.
Yeah. Then we have one here with Dr. Thomas Cowan and Dr. James DeMeo. Now, James DeMeo has passed on, but this is where Thomas Cowan is basically being open-minded, and he's learning about Wilhelm Reich. And it's, so, you know, for people that want to learn more about Reich, that's a really great interview to watch, because Cowan's learning about it ground up, just like you would be if you didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I actually listened to this one during COVID, I think, or just 2021, last year. Because I used to do a whole bunch of research before the live streams. I would listen to a lot of stuff, so that's why I had it like before. So this was interesting, and I did not know James DeMeo passed away until Andrew Kaufman told me in the live stream. So that was sad to hear.
Yeah, he was a really interesting man.
But yeah, so this is a good link, guys. So all the resources here to learn more. And someone says, wishful thinking says, evening everyone, good evening to you all, and I hope you're all keeping well. For sure, my current thing, these NPCs can barely remember 2 weeks back. That is true. Well, again, they're also distracted by a lot of stuff, sports and entertainment and so on. And another thing I wanted to go is actually superhuman strength. Yeah, I want to go back to that superhuman strength one because I remember there was someone about like this woman or this person lifted a helicopter. Let's see. Feats of strength lifting helicopter. Superhuman strength. There was a video there. How did you see feats YouTube? There was I saw one before, and it was literally about this person was like dying. Oh, this one right here. Most shocking HD videos. Man lifts crashed helicopter off his friend. Superhuman strength. Let's see this one here.
Filming an instructional video for the company. I began filming some of the
Let's see.
Needs the help, especially for what he's about to attempt. Steve is in a ditch, unconscious, underwater, and his legs are pinned down by the weight of the chopper. It seems impossible, but Tiny will somehow have to get the nearly 2,000-pound helicopter off his friend if he has any chance of survival. Victoria Keith is there too, filming the action, and she can't believe what she's witnessing.
Not moving at all. We couldn't tell whether he was alive or dead.
Tiny's moving fast, barking commands. But how will he get the ton of metal off the pilot? It'll take more than instincts or heroism to save his friend's life.
I know that when people are under stress, you can summon up some kind of strength that might not be available to you ordinarily. And I think that's what was going on with Tiny.
But Tiny's also fueled by something else, a strong bond with the pilot, stemming from an experience most people wouldn't or couldn't understand unless they were there.
Myself and Steve Cox are both there now.
Tiny says he considers anyone he served with a brother. Steve was a chopper pilot, and Tiny, the captain of a small, heavily armed riverboat.
So they did a lot of cover for us.
One of Tiny's own is in trouble.
Well, that was the main thought in my mind. This is a vet. He's home with me. This is not a way for him to die. This is my buddy. So we went through all what we did to come home, and this way, no.
The two Vietnam veterans, now employees of the Hawaiian Electric Company, show up in this remote pineapple field.
So I didn't know if he was alive or he was dead.
Tiny then reached down, lifted up the rotors, and did kind of a sumo wrestler sound.
All right, there it is. There's the clip.
Lifted the helicopter and did kind of a sumo wrestler sound.
Holy.
Lifted the helicopter with his bare hands. Tiny said, "You got his foot?" And Henry said, "Yeah." I said, "2 feet." And I had both feet clear, and then he set the helicopter back down. It was like incredible.
But Steve's not out of
All right, so his name is Tiny.
danger yet. He's breathing.
But yeah, going back to the thing. So see the deadlift, 2,000 pounds.
Henry said, "Yeah." I said, "2 feet." And I had both feet clear, and then he set the helicopter back down. It was like,
what?
Tiny said, "You got his foot?" And Henry said, "Yeah." I said,
There it is. There it is.
Lifted up the rotors and did kind of a sumo wrestler sound.
All right, so Tiny, that's him. He's showing his butt crack. Jeremy says Tiny was the boyfriend of that 700-pound lady. Hey, don't make fun of this hero. And this is Magnum PI. Yeah, I think the helicopter. And I think this is him. Let's see now this guy is a hero. All right. Now that's a nice mustache. All right. That is epic stuff. Yeah. So that's one thing. A lot of when you discuss like health or like what's possible, you have to take the extremes and then make sense of them. You can't just ignore, okay, this person just randomly was able to lift a superhuman strength. It's like it's not just there. It's possibly there, like that kind of energy is there always. You're just tapping into it sometimes when you're in a conflict zone like that, where it's like the last thing that you can think of, so you're finally not holding back. It's kind of like you're finally accepting that this is the only option, which is go superhuman. And that's kind of where it ties in with Reichian Therapy or Reichian energy and so on, Orgone energy. So that guy is a massive hero, yes indeed. And let's see, is there some more stuff
Reich's
here?
letter to Einstein. I think that's something we should talk about briefly if we can. Reich was figuring that if he could just show his work to Albert Einstein, that he could get some help, some official help.
Einstein is not there for help.
And really what happened was when Einstein saw what Reich was working on, he said to him, this would be a bomb in physics. In other words, this would blow their whole theories to hell and back.
Yeah.
And so Reich gave him an experiment to try. But Einstein, instead of doing it himself and checking the work, he gave it to an assistant. And the guy, Reich has tried to tell him, didn't do the experiment correctly. So Einstein dismissed Reich's work and wouldn't, communicate with him anymore. So basically, he turned his back on Reich. And I really think that it was because Einstein was the guy, and he was working with the Atomic Energy Commission, and they'd already decided to go that way. So they were going with the energy of death, which is atomic energy, as opposed to the energy of life, which is orgone. And so it's really a sad chapter. But again, once again, Wilhelm Reich is swept under the rug or shoved to the side. They don't want to know about it.
Yeah, and Einstein is also, he's also wrong. Well, interestingly, some parts of Einstein, he was discussing the ether and so on, but that's kind of overlooked. Instead, they're talking about this, the mainstream particle physics stuff that he was also talking about. So it's like parts of Einstein, what he was saying was actually in line with Reich, but then that one is overlooked, and then only being pushed is the current particle physics stuff. But even Einstein, the stuff. So my view is this Stephen F is a super fan. All right, so he says Einstein was an OP or agent. He began working in a patent office, rejecting free energy patents. So I think 100% Einstein was like the Neil deGrasse Tyson of the or the Hawking, where it's a narrative being pushed. It's not. It's more of an actor than an actual real scientist. It's not just like politicians are the ones like are puppets. I think even the scientists. Well, you have one in COVID too and HIV. So Fauci. So Einstein is the particle physics or just the physics analogy of Fauci. And so even his papers, they're easily to debunk that they're wrong. Even the mainstream stuff, because all of it is based upon, like, if you heard about a photon, right? You heard about it, where it says a particle of light. The papers, what they're actually saying is that a photon is 1 second of light. But they ignore that 1 second and they just remove it and they just say it's a photon. So like imagine you have a wave, and then you measure how long it goes for 1 second, and then now you remove the second, you say this is a photon. So 10 photons hit the wall. No, they didn't. Just the wave hit it for 10 seconds. So in other words, the wave of the ether hit it, as opposed to an actual physical particle. So see if I can find it quickly on YouTube. Otherwise, we'll sift through the Hutchison stuff. Share this tab.
You need to tab? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so let's go in here. Einstein. There's a guy who says Einstein was wrong, who's disproving them all. Then he got banned from the Reddit physics forum.
That's a medal. Consider that a medal.
Yeah. No,
badge of honor.
Yeah, no, it is weird. Like, I think probably the biggest pushback I had was even bigger than 9/11, is when I talk about gyroscience to like mainstream physicists, and then they like the ones that don't understand what I like that. Well, the ones that pretend they know, so they would send me a link. Here's a link to Wikipedia. I'm like, no, that's wrong, and it's like, they flip out. I'm like, what? Okay, I gotta find that one. There was the one. If I could find Einstein somewhere, I'll open up this thing here. I'm gonna do a quick search, and we will find it. And I'll put that in the notes. Einstein. Okay, we'll do it later. It's alright. There was a guy who just goes through the paper and shows that it is again wrong. Einstein stuff. They use circular reasoning about the photon and so on, but that is for another topic. And I will have to go soon. Sorry about that. But so then another one. So is there anyone here you want to discuss? There's the mass psychology of fascism. This is good. Good paper there.
You want to tab over to that?
Oh, share this one here. I'm on this tab right here. Yeah, sorry about
Okay.
that. Orgone motor. That's interesting.
Yeah, Reich had a motor that all you had to do was just put your hand on this energy, I guess, receptacle that would pull the energy in, and he'd run a motor. And he gave it to this young man who had been, I guess, studying with him for a while. But I think this young man was working for the government, because once he took the invention and took all the diagrams and everything, he just disappeared. And though they talked to him once, I think, on the phone, he just disappeared. He was under some kind of pressure. They're just trying to hush all this stuff up. I mean, they have made inventions where they can run products right from the air.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a guy in Salt Lake City. His name was Henry Morey, I believe. And T.B. Palicki, in his book, How Do You Build a Flying Saucer? Remember that is speculative engineering book that I told you about?
Okay.
If you get the whole book, he talks about Henry Morey in there, and he was able with crystals to tap free energy. And he told the U.S. government about it, and they sent some assassins out to kill him. That was it. Get rid of the guy. We don't want free energy.
Yeah. So that's why I shouldn't send it to them. If you have it, just make it as public right away as possible.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
So, you know, when Matthew really starts working on this free energy, his life could be in danger.
Well, that's why I just put everything online right away. And so the one thing I will be looking at is that Bruce De Palma's End Machine. I'm actually going through the next video that I'm working on. It's going to take a while. I was hoping to finish it this December. It's going to be going over the Bruce De Palma's End Machine and Faraday's disc. Basically, spin a magnet and a copper disc together, and then get some wires, and you get some free energy. So that's the take on that. But yeah, and one thing I won't be patenting anything. So a lot of people, they try to patent, keep it silent. I'm like, just make it public ASAP, and not even just free energy, but just basic scientific stuff. So for example, my MES experiments. So right here, every one of these experiments on their own are just irrefutable, like little bits of facts that the mainstream either doesn't know or debunks the mainstream, and shows one of them ones I will shows is this one right here. Literally shows free energy. I don't know how else to word this. Have you ever seen? Did I show this one? I showed this one in my Fractal Woman series video live stream, but I don't know if you have seen this. This is, I'll just fast forward here. So what I do here is I have 3 gyroscopes, the same. Have you ever felt a gyroscope when you turn it and you feel force?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I found out is, so when you have a gyroscope, if you put it on a stand right here, it can stand on its own. If you just let it go and it spins, and then if you feel that force, the spin speed doesn't change, doesn't lower any extra. So in other words, you're getting a force for nothing. So I have it here. Let's see some noise. You can fast forward. I'm gonna fast forward 16x speed. So this one, notice I'm torquing this gyro. The entire time I'm torquing it, it doesn't lose any extra speed. So in other words, you're getting a force from nothing, from what I think is the ether. So you're not actually getting it from the spinning thing. So so this is, and I have the time. The time is pretty much the same. So basically, what it's saying is that whatever's happening, you're getting energy from without losing anything. You're just the input energy. It doesn't change relative to the output that you're getting. So you can do as much as you want. You can torque it as much as you want. Nothing's gonna change it. Nothing's gonna. So you're getting an actual force for but nothing. Imagine you had a battery and you're taking energy out of it, but battery doesn't lose anything. And someone actually, I think Fred, where it was, he made a device that pretty much a gyroscope, but connected some wires and was getting free energy. Again, it's not enough to just produce it. You need to be able to promote it and make it easy for everyone to see. Like, in other words, make a series where everything is step by step, and that is that stuff. And with that, I think I'm gonna go one more thing, and then if there's anything else here you would discuss, so his daughter Eva discussed free energy. Is his daughter still alive?
No, she's passed on.
Oh yeah, this is the older one. Yes, I forgot. Yeah, I have seen this one as well. And because one thing, you also have to tie it into 9/11. So even if James DeMeo, if he was around, tie it in all to 9/11, because 9/11 is the big one where they don't want you to say. But because it gives credence to Wilhelm Reich. So 9/11 is like irrefutable proof of free energy. It gives credence to all the other all the others more not speculative, just less info. Like Wilhelm Reich, even his Cloudbuster.
And Tesla, of course.
And Tesla too. You're gonna have to assume that they actually were producing what they were saying they were producing. But 9/11, you have that right in your face. Towers literally turn to dust, and then so it's kind of like it reinforces what all the other stuff was people were talking about.
And what Reich frequently said in his books was that he found over the years that many people are literally shutting out the idea of this energy. They don't want to know about it. They don't want to recognize it.
Yeah.
So that's also part of it. That part of the cover-up, the self cover-up that people do.
Yeah, half of it is self. Yeah, so again, to go my MES duality setup. It's not just a they ruling the world. It's half they and half us.
That's right.
And then what I actually go further, I say they is us. Like if you and I, or even if I was given that power, nothing would change. Mm-hmm. Because it's not just them. It's the illusion of power. It's the illusion that one person can have X amount of power over other people. So like imagine you were a ruler of if you were the president. So if I was president, it's either right away I tell everybody, okay, free energy exists, 9/11, etc., and then hence you don't become president anymore. So you get what I mean? Otherwise, if you're president and you're covering it up, you're gonna be the same as them. Mm-hmm. So there is no actual. So it's just you cannot be a president or elite or whatever, or have power over anyone, and expect it to be any different than we currently have. Yeah. Because that involves lying to people. Because if you don't tell them right away that, for example, Orgone energy exists, if you don't tell them, because if you do tell them, then they don't need presidents anymore. They don't need governments anymore. They don't need fighting. So it's kind of like what basically trying to say is, let's see, for the gyro experiment with torque, no speed loss. What happens if you mount it on a motor generator and allow it to spin on one direction, generate power? Yeah, someone actually did a procession with that, and that's the thing I need to figure out how that's possible. So that is stuff to work on, about the free energy stuff. So yeah, so basically what I'm saying is, reality is according basically as it is. Like it's there's no one that we should go and try to take out. So like if you remove Bonnie Henry, you're gonna have another Bonnie Henry ready and willing to go do that. So it's kind of like it's kind of like when everyone knows about Orgone energy or free energy, it kind of like evens out reality. Kind of like there's no more hamster wheel of like 9 to 5 work or whatever. So imagine all billions of people realize all of human existence was unnecessary. It's kind of like you were talking like end times where things just the reality just kind of ends as we know it. So that's it's kind of like when you speak about the chi in words, I'm saying the chi, the entire population just realizes, okay, so what is reality then if everything that throughout history was unnecessary? Because right now, like for however long humans were on the planet, they're just trying to get by, trying to get energy to live another day. But imagine you tell them all you have infinite energy. It's like, wait, so what was the whole point of the civilization that we produced? So that's That's a mind-boggling thing. All right, so I'm gonna do one more thing, and then I will have to head out, and that is gonna be on the Hutchison effect right here. So Hutchison effect, we will open this, and in this electromagnetism video, I'll show a bit of it.
You need to tab.
Yeah, share this tab. Let's see, media too big. Open in web. Open in web. That's pretty cool. Just do that. All right, so we are good to go here, and share this John Hutchison effect with a solid bar of iron. So this is a solid bar of iron, Hutchison effect, and he's basically shooting some electromagnetic frequencies, like microwave tech on it, and with some static field around it, and they interfere, and they somehow, literally, this is iron, and it's just dissolving, or just like, and that's fuming, similar to 9/11.
What the hell?
All right.
Just pull it out of the test area over there, and put some paper on in the hallway here.
So that's solid iron.
This used to be the. Oh my mercy.
Yeah.
7 long, just under 2-inch by 2-inch, solid block of iron.
All right, so you saw that just literally turn into like nothing. All right, so that was a Hutchison effect, and like I want to say it as well, it's not enough just to be able to produce this. You also have to like showcase how you did it, exactly the specifications, and also not look like a clown. Have you seen his channel? He's like a cross-dressing.
No, I haven't seen his channel.
Yeah, he's cross-dressing. He's
oh my god,
and he's just it's not too bad if you're cross-dressing, but as long as then he's kind of goes off his he's losing his mind, Hutchison. Let's see, Hutchison. I have one here. Hutchison. I have a whole series on Hutchison. I'll just write this, and then one of them here. Okay, I wrote John Hutchison must have been hit by the trans duo. Okay, so this is channel.
Oh my god.
Let's see, there's another one. John Hutchison. Oh, but also another thing is he had a sworn affidavit. He used to live in British Columbia. Did you know that?
Right. Yeah, he was in Westminster, I think.
Yeah, Hutchison, being duly sworn, poses and says, "I am full of age and legal capacity, etc. I make this affidavit in support of the contentions of Dr. Judy Wood." And he writes, "I am familiar with the claims made by Dr. Wood in her complaint in this matter, as well as the broader factual scientific underpinnings of the claims," and so on. And literally says that the phenomenon has been named Hutchison effect. And he says that, and he also says here, in summary, and as noted in the referenced Wikipedia article, in the year 1979, I discovered a number of unusual phenomena while seeking to duplicate experiments done by Nikola Tesla. The phenomenon have been named the Hutchison effect, and they include levitation of heavy objects, materials, spontaneous fracturing of metals, the ones we just showed, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And then he says right here, I just want to illustrate what he says. Yeah, right here at the bottom. I can and do assert that the WTC was destroyed by devices that are scaled up, refined, and or weaponized versions of the effects that I named the Hutchison effect, which he got from Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is brings it all into a circle there. And where's that Hutchison losing his mind? Actually, yeah. Okay, let's see this Hutchison losing his mind.
Oh my god.
Well, but apparently he does it. So his take is he does it. Someone's saying that he acts crazy to not get to keep alive or something.
A man who's managed to avoid a fate so many could not. Sudden death.
How do you think you survived?
Because I'm a raving lunatic.
Hello, folks out there. This is Carla Conniption reporting somewhere out there in...
Coats.
All right, anyway.
So maybe he's doing this whole act so that he's discrediting himself as self-defense.
You could say that, but I think I think it goes more than that. There was one losing his mind. throwback. Okay, I'm just gonna see it. But anyways, I emailed him to try to get on this to get him on the live stream. Well, no, to visit his house actually, and to see the experiments myself, because I wanted to go and film him. And he was replying, and he stopped doing, and then he stopped, and then he stopped replying to my email. So I wanted to go and actually visit him, and I was able to contact him through 9/11 Revisited to try to get on the live stream. So hopefully get him on the live stream. Hutchison, mind. Did I type it wrong? Okay, this one right here. Okay, Hutchison effect sale, and he's got blue dye on his tongue. Anyways, that does. Okay, so there was another one I wanted to show here. Okay, the last video was this one right here. Open in web.
Need to tab.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this tab. Oh, whoops. Let's go here. So this one here, I just wanted to show some of this. Because I was looking at it for so long that I was trying to find it, and then the 9/11 revisionists sent me this video. And this
One
guy
of the
right
most intriguing discoveries in modern science is the fact that there is nothing in this world that even approaches what might be called truly solid. We speak of solids, liquids, and gases. But these terms describe superficial rather than basic properties of matter. All matter, regardless of its state, is composed of invisible particles called atoms, which in turn are composed of other particles. The air we breathe, though invisible to us, is just as real as wood or metal, because it's made of the same fundamental particles. It is the arrangement of these particles and the forces that bind them together that give to a substance its special properties. If we bring a piece of steel close to a magnet, we say that the steel becomes magnetized. But what is it that actually happens? If we place the steel inside a coil of wire connected to a high-gain amplifier, and then bring the magnet close to the bar of steel, we can hear something that suggests movement inside the steel. Listen. We think of a piece of steel as being solid. And according to our definition, it is a solid. But the popular concept of what makes a solid is certainly a false one. This piece of steel, and any so-called solid substance on this earth, is almost entirely empty space. If we could eliminate the empty space in this piece of steel, all that would remain would be a tiny bit of matter, so small as to be invisible even with a high-power microscope. This concept of almost unlimited empty space within matter is comparatively new, but it is the very cornerstone of our knowledge in this atomic age. Atoms are not solid. Instead, they are tiny solar systems composed of infinitely small particles revolving at tremendous speeds and bound together by enormous forces. And like our solar system, atoms are almost entirely empty space. For the moment, let's forget the forces within the atom. Thinking only of the particles and the empty space around them, science knows no reason why I couldn't take this so-called solid steel bottle and just throw it right on through that wall. Except this, we've tried it and it hasn't worked. If I were to attempt to run through that wall right now, all I'd get for my trouble would be a good-sized lump on the head.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward. I don't want to get copyright thingy. Hopefully that's a lie. Cross-dressing isn't so bad. Remember, J. Edgar Hoover was a homosexual cross-dresser. I think he was. Yeah, I just want to go with this one right here, and then we'll.
Just be sure that there's a coil of wire inside and that you connect that coil to a high-voltage alternating current source. The rest is easy. As long as we're being different, we'll use motor oil instead of Crisco. The egg fries very quickly, but the stove remains perfectly cold. In fact, if you wish to keep it handy, you can fry your egg on the morning newspaper.
Alright, have you seen...
With a gadget like this, you can get up in the morning, sit on the stove, read the morning newspaper, and fry the eggs in your lap. And Another example of the fact that physical forces can be quite selective in their effect.
Yeah, I just want to show that part.
On the morning news.
So he's literally cooking up while cooking up an egg. Underneath is paper and wood, and nothing's. It just goes straight through it and cooks it. So that's it. And then Lolo Causality says, "Empty space in an atom. What a lie." Well, again, he's given. He's describing based on mainstream terms, but they kind of give it away. Empty. When they're saying empty space, it means it's not particles. So they're saying that whatever the atom's made of, it's not made of things that we can see and touch. So in other words, it's the ether. Is okay. So that was actually okay. One last thing, and then I'm gonna add out. This is why the live streams. It's pretty good.
One of the most intriguing.
So
we think of a piece of steel as being solid.
If you notice what
and according to our definition, steel inside a coil of wire connected to a high gain amplifier. And then bring the magnet close to the bar of steel, we can hear something that suggests movement inside the steel. Listen.
Alright, so what he has is connected to amplifiers, so they turn it into a sound. But basically what is shown is that the electrical stuff is changing. So inside that iron or steel is the actual atoms are reorienting themselves based on this larger atom. And that's basically how you magnetize a piece of steel. You would just get a stronger magnet, and it lines up. Or you can have a coil, and then it basically loop it around a bar, and then it just turns into a magnet. But this is literally going back to that analogy I showed about the Einol Dinu, and this is the latest MES experiment that I did. And we will share this tab. It's literally the mini gyros lining up to the big gyro, or the big magnet. So this one right here. So this is a mechanical demonstration of inertia or magnetism, one and the same. So you have some gyros right here. I'm gonna actually go here. Whoops. Actually, we have the screenshots. Whoops, go back here. All right, so here.
Now, the mechanical. What we're going to do is
okay.
on this crank. These are all.
So these are all just gyroscopes spinning. They're all random orientations. Then right when he applies the torque, or I'll mute it. Right when he applies his torque on the outside, they all line up. They all line up exactly the same. So it's literally, so I think it's pretty much the same as magnets are doing. So that all the atoms are just going to be spinning the same direction. So they all line up the same. And they all line up. And I had a good emoji right here in the cave. And yeah, so they all line up before it's going to be all over the place, and then once you spin, they all line up with this one. But anyways, and oh, I sorry, I didn't show the tab. This one right here. So it's a good image of it, and they all line up. Initially, when it doesn't matter what orientation these are, all these mini gyros are. When you have an applied torque at the end, it's all going to line up to this one here. And that's very similar to this one here where you had that bar coming in. And what's actually happening is all the little ones are moving towards that big torque or big magnet. Anyways, that is, well, I think that's all. Is there anything else you want to say, Alan?
No, I think we've covered it.
We covered a lot. Yeah, let's check the live stream stats and see how this is doing. So 2 hours and 17 minutes. All right, and somehow I gotta go drive in the snow, or I don't know if I want to drive. Okay, the snow changes everything. Okay, so we have 20 people now, and let's see, congruence, what is the peak? Is there a peak somewhere? Doesn't show a peak. But anyways, guys, that is all. And I'm going to say, any last questions, or that's it? Or that is it. You have 4 seconds to ask. Thanks for joining, and... But yeah, Alan, yeah, thanks for coming on the show, and we have you booked for either November 22nd or 23rd, the JFK emergency live stream.
Well, we got to do one on AI, you know.
Oh, AI, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, because I've got a friend who's been studying it, and he could come on as another guest speaker. Oh. I'd like to do a presentation about the Colossus 3-part series, the Forbin project. That's.
Oh. Okay, that'd be interesting. And then also, if your friend, because I used ChatGPT to make my this webpage, so if he's good at ChatGPT, that'd be pretty epic. Just to help make some websites. And another thing, I made a gematria calculator, so I'm gonna start making. I'm gonna start coding with my ChatGPT, because my brother was a coder, but now he's busy with his work and so on, so I have to do the coding myself. So ChatGPT has helped a lot. And I just made a gematria calculator. See the gematria calculator right here. So right here, so you go Donald J. Trump. Let's go 888 Sumerian, and I'll explain. This one is each letter is goes up by 6. So A would be 6, B would be 12, or it would be better like this here. A is 1, and in ordinals is 1. Sumerian is 6. These ones I have so far. Pizzagate is 666 on the bottom. Ordinal there. Internet. Let's see what internet is. 630. Some other stuff like that. Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hunt is the Mission Impossible protagonist. Alright, so anyways, that's all, guys. I am going out of here now. Alright, guys, thanks for joining. Great movie. Is that the Mission Impossible? Or the other... Or is that the Colossus movie? Okay, so... We are sharing this tab. Yeah, so that is all. Anything, guys? I'm going to end the stream, and then... yeah, so I'll just end the stream. Alright, guys, have a good one, guys.
Okay, thanks, man. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say bye to them, and yeah, have a good one. Alan, let's see, Alan. So, Alan, here, I